Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back, even.
Yes, we appreciate you being here. We're just going to kind of jump right in today. So, I guess we should. I'm Pam.
I'm Mari-Lyn.
Yes, and we are the Conscious Spirit. Thank you for joining us. So we sat down to do this podcast today, and I was feeling very spacey. Couldn't get my thoughts together, and I was like, "Woof! I need to get grounded." So we opened space, and during that time, immediately I was getting messaging coming in. So we will get to that, and we know how much we have heard from all of you that you like it when we open space before the podcast. So I'm going to turn that over to Mari-Lyn, and she's going to do that.
I will. If you happen to be in your car, please tune us out. Allow yourself to get grounded without really paying too much of attention to this. You want to focus on driving. If you're doing something that requires your attention, just allow the grounding to happen without really engaging in this opening of space. Your safety is first and foremost. If you're in the kitchen, put down the knives.
Yes.
Step away from the stove. Oh, Spirit, I ask to open this sacred circle between Pam, myself, and everyone who is listening whenever they are listening.
Yes.
I ask that we all can stand on the same energetic platform during this podcast, that Pam and I can relay the messaging, the words that we need to, and that everybody listening receive exactly what they need in any given moment, whether it's from something that we say or something that is just sparked within them from something that comes across. I ask that we all be grounded deep into the earth, that our grounding cords travel to the center of the earth, anchoring us in, that we can all be placed in our divine lines and open to receiving whatever it is that we need to receive. With so much gratitude. So it is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Yes. And we bring in, I definitely need that vibration of gratitude. So thank you. And that was part of the messaging that came in, right? When we opened space.
Right.
It was about staying in the vibration of love and gratitude brings us our Bramble moments. I think I'm going to call them those moments.
I know Bramble moments very well.
Yes, ma'am, as do I. Yes.
Yeah.
So a Bramble moment are those times when we have big decisions to make and we're confused. Something comes into our life. Everything was really going really well, and then bam, something comes in and kind of shakes you up a bit. We get triggered. The wounding comes up. Those are all those sort of Bramble moments where you feel like, think about a bramble like a blackberry bush, and you're in the middle of it, and they're going every which way, and every time you turn, ouch, ooh, ah, ee, all the little, okay, and you can see the berries, but you can't reach them. Every time you go to grab one, you get your hand pinched.
Yeah.
Those are the brambles, and that's part of being human. That's why we're here, is to have those bramble and worse moments. Staying in gratitude for those brambles. When we're in the brambles and we are in gratitude, we can reach right up and pick those berries. Our gifts are there. It's when we're in gratitude for what's going on around us. Yeah. So, was there something else that came in? So what was coming was like with trauma or wounding, we don't want to jump into the wounding. It's painful. We want to run from it. We get scared. But when we jump in there and we're in it and we're healing it and we're acknowledging that it happened and we're finding the gratitude within it, there's a treasure there for us. Spirit doesn't leave us hanging. Like there's every time you go through a situation where you're healing or you're in the brambles, there's always a treasure there. If you choose to be honest, to look at it for what it is. I created these brambles. I'm part of these brambles. And you get clarity, and that's where the fruit is. I guess I know I'm kind of mixing these weird metaphors in it because it's coming in these different ways, like but the fruit are the treasures, right?
Yeah, and that's beautiful messaging. And it, throughout my journey, there have been so many times where I've been stuck in those brambles.
Yes.
When I didn't need to be.
Very self-imposed. Most brambles are self-imposed. Not all, but most are self-imposed.
And being stuck in them, it's when I can be in gratitude, I can see my way out.
Yes.
Instead of trying to dig and claw and get scratched and bleeding. And it's like, wait a minute. All I have to do is go around here.
Yes.
I can walk out. I can pick as many berries as I can.
There's an abundance there of berries. So what came to me when you were talking is one of the first things to do when you find yourself in the brambles, when you find it's like, oh, this is happening again, or oh my, this thing came out of nowhere, something happens, shakes you up, and you find yourself standing in those brambles, right? The first thing to do, the first step is to look in. How are you experiencing it? What is your part in this experience? What keeps us in the brambles is looking out, trying to see through the brambles. Okay, who the hell threw these brambles at me? How did I get in here? Who put me in here? That sort of victim thing, all these outside reasons why they're happening, looking in and saying, oh, wait, because I keep doing this to myself. I'm in these brambles. I did it. I create these brambles on my own. Is someone else a participant? Yep.
Always. Well, not always.
But pretty darn close. There's
a lot of times.
Yes. So how do you then get out of the brambles? How do you then sit and go, okay, I'm going to sit in gratitude for these brambles because there's a lesson here that I get to learn. I get to see what I've done that keeps putting me in these brambles. And that is not a punishment. That's a liberation. When you can look in and say, how do I keep causing this? And that's not how do I keep causing? It's not that victim, horrible victim, which I've been many a time.
Oh, sure. Me too.
But okay, how do I keep doing this? And honestly look at it.
Yes. One of the biggest differences in the two is being grounded or not.
Yes.
Because if you're not grounded, you're going to be, why does this keep happening to me? I can't catch a break. These stupid brambles. But if you can get grounded, even if you can't fully get grounded, but you want to be grounded, you set the intention to get grounded and you ask for help.
Yes.
it suddenly changes to, oh man, how do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this? And how can I get out? How can I change? How can I stop?
One of the many beautiful things about being grounded is it balances your thought. It balances your emotions, it balances your thought, your ego sort of gets out of the way, and you can see reality, you can see truth. That's
It's
what
like,
grounding.
it's like grounding is the big equalizer.
Yes. Yes.
It's the foundation of balance.
Yes. So I know some of you are saying, well, what is grounded? You guys talk about it all the time, but I have no idea what that is.
True.
So would you like to talk about that?
Oh, well, there's so many different ways to talk about being grounded.
Yes.
Very simply, it is having all of our energy
Yes.
pulled into ourselves and it runs into the ground,
Yes.
as opposed to it being
Right. With a high vibration. Yes. Yes. And
I'm sorry, what
it raises your vibration as well when you ground.
absolutely raises your vibration.
So if you think, what I think of as we have so many energetic pieces, and we have our emotional body, we have our intellectual body, we have our ego, plus we have energetic pieces that are separate than that are connected. That through every plane we have so many pieces, right? So if you think of yourself as, let's say, 100-piece, we'll say 50, a 50-piece puzzle.
Okay.
Where are all your pieces right now?
Yeah.
Are they snapped in? Are they together? Or are they not? When we're grounded, all of those pieces are snapped together. It's nice and flat. That's grounded. That is living with purpose. I am purposefully right here, right now. I am grounded. I am present. All my pieces are all snapped together.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got them hooked in the earth.
Into the earth. And
everything is in balance.
As humans, we cannot keep that. We cannot sustain
that
grounding. So it's a continual,
yes.
It's a continual thing.
Too. Right.
So me personally, we haven't been on this very long, like less than 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I have already regrounded myself 3 times.
Yes. I've already a couple as well. Yes.
Yeah.
We had a question posed to us in the comments one day, not long ago, that was, how do you stay grounded?
How do you stay grounded?
And we just laughed. It's like, well, isn't that the $1 million question?
It is the $1 million question.
But
because we can't.
No. Practice, reground. Practice, reground. That's how you do it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay to not be grounded.
Sure.
Absolutely okay to not be grounded.
Yep.
In the appropriate times.
Yes, like when you're just vegging out on the, you take that time, I'm just going to plop down in front of the TV and just be for a while. I don't want to think, I don't want to feel, I want to do nothing to, all your pieces have just spread out everywher. And that's okay.
You got some on the floor, you got some on the table, you got some hanging from the chandelier.
Yes.
Some of them are intact.
Some of them, yep. We are more energetic than we are physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have so many pieces to us.
Yes.
When we talk about this, I always get this vision of a healing that that first major healing you gave me with a new team.
Oh, yeah.
I was a gingerbread man, and I was sliced into, I can't even tell you how many slices there were of me. Hundreds, probably. More than I could even, fathom. There's just so much to us.
Yeah. And then if you have been overthinking something, there's another piece.
Oof.
Right? You
Right.
have, if your mind is going in 12 directions at once during the day, you've just created 12 new pieces.
Yep.
It should be one piece or two pieces, but you've scattered it out. And so we can create more. We can create wormholes around us from overthinking and create a situation where chaos just, you've heard people say, and I've said this, I think myself, chaos just follows me. Well, because you created it and it's
like
your doing. Yes, yes.
It's like then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did it.
And those wormholes. Oh my gosh, those wormholes.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so easy for us to go back in to spinning over things where we're just like constantly.
Yes.
And there's no balance in there. And when there's no balance, there's no gratitude.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And true gratitude where because we can all say it, oh, I'm in gratitude of this, or yeah, I'm sure, but do you feel it? Is that something that you're feeling from your heart space? That space where your heart and your soul, that's when your body and all your pieces come together right there in that spot, right? Yes.
That is perfection. That feeling.
That feeling.
When the heart and the soul meet, that's perfection.
Yes, I had to write that down. Or a possible title for our podcast today.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So talk more about that. Because I know I remember when you received that information about perfection or feeling perfect or when something's perfect or whatever it was.
Yep. It was, I was actually writing a blog about expectations. And if I remember correctly, I was talking about expectations and perfectionism, trying to always be perfect.
Yes.
And I got such clear messaging from my main guide, Cowboy. Perfection isn't something you can achieve. It's not something that's outside of you that you can accomplish, that you can achieve. It's a feeling.
Yes. Yes.
It's a feeling.
It's those moments that we have of feeling, right?
Yep. And when you said when our heart and our soul come together, that just like, that was not part of my messaging. I was getting like visuals of times in my life when I felt that perfection. You know, there's a newborn baby that you look into their eyes.
Oh, yes.
Perfection.
Your heart just sings, your heart and your soul, there's that sweet spot of just.
It just sings.
Things, yes.
Yes. That's perfection.
My grandson is perfection. Just saying. And the one that's on the way, by the way. Yay, she's pregnant again. Yes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
I know. Super excited. Yes.
Yeah,
and we chase that. It's like it is an addiction. Chasing that perfection that's just not coming for you. We're chasing it on the outside. We have to. What comes to mind is there is a woman in our neighborhood. Good God, woman, stop with the cosmetic surgery. Like your plastic surgeon is making a mint and it's getting a little scary now. Like it's getting scary. She's chasing something that's not ever going to be perfect. What is perfect? What does perfect actually look like?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. There is no perfect. There is no perfection.
Is no perfection.
All.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
And those of us who, like, say you're cooking. I do a lot of cooking, And I did a lot before when my kids were at home, of course, but most nights it was like, it's good enough, perfect enough, it's okay. But there were those times when it was like, perfection. Because there was this feeling in it.
It invoked a feeling.
Yes, yes. And okay, I have to bring up this story because this is, and maybe we've talked about it. I think I've talked about it with you. We used to go to this particular restaurant a lot. We love the food. And there was this one cook that was there. Her food was always better, always. And I remember saying something to the owner one time, oh, I'm glad Mary's here because the food's going to be good. And she's like, they're all the same recipes. All the cooks use the same. It's like, but Mary puts that love. Like she loves what she's doing. I think she gets that feeling of perfection when she's like, it's not going out. And I know, right? And it was so much better. Same exact recipe, but boy, Mary's was so much better. It was that love she put in there.
Yeah.
That came from that place that sings in your heart space. It was, but that anyway,
Absolutely.
that just brought up, it was fabulous. And and I was just like, whatever to the owner. Like, okay. What do you think? What you want to think? I mean, I know it's the same recipe, but but there's a reason we only come when we know that Mary's here.
Yep.
So
that's why so often, like, I'm going to just use apple pie because everybody's mother makes the best apple pie.
Yeah. And
it's
the love. It's absolutely the love. Yes.
Yep.
So perfection is not something in this human form that we can obtain. Whatever you think perfection is, whatever you are trying so hard to make something so perfect, if you those expectations that Mari-Lyn was talking about. When you can let go of that and just because we cut off spirit when we're trying for protection. Perfection. Yes, there's another thing, protection. That's something to talk about. Because I don't think that was a mistake that came through, because I think there's some parallels here. So when there is. So in the line of business, the part of the business that Mari-Lyn and I are in with All Dimensions Energy Healing, we go into, the paranormal. We work with very low vibrational beings. Some people call them demons and other things and whatever. Those are the entities that we work with because we know we are meant to. That's part of our journey here. Anyway, one of the things we never do is say, I need to be protected. When we never use the word, I should say never, that's not true. There are times when that word protection is needed, but saying I need to be protected, the universe goes, oh, so you're in the vibration of needing protection. That means something's coming for you. That means something's after you. So you're going to attract
open up those doors.
Yes, you're going to attract the things. Right. You need to be protected. Okay. Well, that's the way that happens. Perfection is the same way. If you are chasing perfection, you're never going to find it, because spirit sees perfection in a different way. You're chasing, so I'm going to be perfect at this. Okay, so what spirit brings you is all the imperfections, right? Everything that you could look at as an imperfection. When we stop, we let go of needing perfection, we allow spirit to work through us and see the beauty in everything. And that's really where you hit that sweet spot, I think. I'm
Yes.
not even sure if any of that makes perfect sense to me, but you guys,
To me, it was like you were explaining the picture forming in front of my eyes.
ah,
Yes.
oh, how lovely would it be to be clairvoyant?
Because when we can let go of the expectation,
Mhm.
do whatever it is we're doing to the very best of our ability in any given moment, which
Yeah.
means some moments it's going to be brilliant and some moments it's going to be
Oh,
dirt.
yes,
But when we can accept that and we keep
yes,
going and we create whatever it is that we are creating and be
yes,
open to accepting what it is,
yes, yeah,
the likelihood of that moment of perfection
yes,
is much greater. That doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, because it's not.
right,
But it opens us up to even the possibility of experiencing that feeling.
yes,
Even what's coming now is even that very small feeling of pride that a lot of people don't allow themselves to feel because it's frowned upon, right? That's
yes,
egotistical to be proud of
yes,
yourselves. But when we allow that moment of pride for something we've done or we've achieved, there is a moment of perfection in that,
yes.
because we've allowed ourselves to see ourselves.
And who are we trying to be perfect for?
Oh,
Right? It's for other people
for
to
other people.
say, to compliment us, to look at us a certain way. We're looking for affirmation from outside of ourselves, from human beings who are imperfect.
Yes. Yes.
So, what's my verbiage? What's wrong with being imperfect? Whatever that, I mean, that imperfect is being human. Being perfect is kind of an inhuman sort of thing.
There is a saying, I'm perfectly imperfect. I love that.
Yes, yes,
I really do love that, because there is no perfection.
right. Now, there is, I will say, there is giving up and just being lazy. And there is, what's coming to me now is, well, there was this man that clearly had just given up sort of on life, and he was just sort of, he just let himself go. And there was an air about him that was like, this is just who I am, so get used to it. And so on one hand, yes, that's your choice to do that. However, I could see so much better for him just running a brush through your hair, or taking a shower, or putting on a piece of clothing that makes you feel good because you like it, you think it's pretty or whatever. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but there is sort of that sweet spot where you can say, I'm not perfect, and here I am, and I love myself anyway. And there's that place of, I've just given up, I don't give a shit, get over it, whatever. Do you know where I'm going with that?
Yes, I think
I'm not even sure.
you're going to that place of, so I talked just a moment ago about pride, taking
Yes,
pride.
yes,
And sure, if we go too far into the pride, then our ego takes over and then we become prideful. And that's not healthy. I believe what you're talking about is the extreme opposite.
yes, yes. And I think that's what triggered that thought.
There is a term, and for the life of me, I cannot come up with it. But it would be that extreme opposite of, okay, this is just the way it's going to be. And so I'm going to almost burrow myself into it, which is really just as unhealthy, and it's all ego.
Yes.
It's all ego, just like the boastful and overly prideful is all ego.
All ego.
And there's no balance in that at
No.
all. None.
And what I'm reminded of is all of those scenarios that we talked about. That's all part of being human too. That's all part of our lessons here.
Absolutely.
So it's not to look at any of those things to not beat yourself up over it. I mean, I can look back at some of the things that I've done in my life, even though being prideful or sort of giving up or I don't care, or, you know, whatever. That's all lessons. And to understand what perfection is, you really have to feel imperfection. You have to feel that crap about yourself. And then when that perfection comes and you feel it in your heart, like when I'm looking at my grandson, I'm like, oh, okay, there's an appreciation that can come with it. And that's with everything. We need both sides of the coin on everything to really understand. We did that with lifetimes too.
Sure. Yeah.
We talk about that all the time. Yeah.
The the phrase "I don't care."
Mm,
The more we say "I don't care,"
yeah.
the more we do care.
The more we do care, yes.
The more we do care, and the
Yes.
more we try to convince ourselves that we don't care, the more we do care. And
Yes.
something, I don't even remember what it was that happened. I think it was even just this morning, maybe yesterday morning. And I was like, I don't care. And then I started laughing. Who am I kidding? I do care, but why?
Yes. Yeah.
But why? Why do I care? And I had to go, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I care because that means I'm not in control.
Yes.
And like I said, I still don't remember what it was, but I do remember that piece of it.
Yes.
I cared because it was out of my control.
Yes.
And okay, it's time to really not care now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
As
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to control just
sorry, go ahead.
no, just trying to control everything is so exhausting.
Yes. Very exhausting.
So exhausting and so unnecessary. And
really? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are we, so there's, when you were talking about that is, so I started thinking about the woman again in the neighborhood who gets all that plastic surgery.
Yeah.
At some point, she probably did it. She was feeling bad about herself. Who knows what she's had done. I mean, there's a lot, but let's say maybe she started with like rhinoplasty or something. You know, she had her nose done and she felt better about herself. Maybe she was in, you know, whatever.
Sure.
Maybe she got compliments or whatever. And then it's like, well, if I have my ears done, then I'll feel better. Well, if I have this, my eyes done. Well, if I have a facelift. Well, if I have, at some point, you have to stop, and something inside of you is, there's a hole there. There's some wounding that needs to be healed because you are looking outside yourself for some sort of weird perfection, or just because you had your nose done, it did make you feel better about yourself, doesn't mean that all these other things are going to do the same thing. This apples and oranges, like it's very different.
Right.
Yes.
Very similar to addiction.
Yes.
Very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing that.
Yes.
That very pinpoint moment.
Yes.
That feeling of perfection.
Yes. Yes. And also being, you know, trying to make our children perfect, whatever the hell that is. You know, we sometimes do that to our It's not just us that we do it to, we do it to, and children need to just be carefree and not worry about all of that. They don't need to be told that they're whatever, like, I remember, so I have, my oldest son has a mole and it's on the side of his nose. And when he was younger, the mole hasn't changed sizes. He has, but so it was looked really big when he was small, right?
Okay.
And my mother had said, oh, when you're older, we can just get that taken off. It was like, oh my God, Mom, I can't believe, how dare you say that? So then he became self-conscious about it. And we said, you know what? That makes you different. It's not ugly, it's not weird, whatever. It makes you who you are. And as he grew, of course, he got bigger, the mole stayed, I don't even notice it now. But yeah, I know, you probably, yeah, I can see that look on your face, huh? Yeah, he does. And we have to be careful not to put whatever we think protection, I said it again, perfection, we don't put that on other people to, because clearly my mother was the one that was uncomfortable with it. He had no idea. It
Sure.
never occurred to him.
Sure.
Until she said something. Yep. And then it became, thankfully he never did have it taken off or anything. It's still there and it's beautiful and it's who he is. It's like, that's his face and it's a beautiful face. So yeah, that whole perfection thing can really get out of hand when we start thinking that other people need to look the way we think they should look, or whatever that is. Yeah, I guess that's been coming up lately, just getting older, we start seeing our face change, and it's a real big thing now for women our age to start having crap done. And I know Mari-Lyn and I have had many conversations. Hell no, we are going to grow old with dignity. This is who we are. This is what our bodies are, our devas are meant to get old. That's the plan. That's what we're supposed to just get older. Yeah. So that's my little tirade there for the moment. Yes, I'd forgotten all about that. My mother had said that to my son, and I'm glad that he was able just to kind of brush that off and move past it and never have anything done. Ooh, my nose is itching. Doesn't that mean something? I know it's allergies today, but
I think
there's some old wives' tale.
Oh, I don't know what. Oh, you're gonna kiss a fool?
Is that it?
I think so. I think it's itching because the correlation between your son's, the mole on his nose, and
that uncomfortability, because she was so uncomfortable with it. He wasn't. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I that lands. I'll take that.
Judgment, because that is a judgment.
Yeah.
Judgment comes out of our wounding.
It does.
Our thoughts of perfection and our expectations of what normal is.
And then me wanting to protection, my son.
Yeah.
Yes. Mama Bear really came out on that one. Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we started this podcast talking about the brambles and what to do about them.
And being in gratitude.
Yeah. And paying attention to those things. I know it can seem really daunting sometimes to have more to heal and more to do. You and I actually, talked, and I know people listening are like, oh my God, when am I ever going to stop? Or how do I do this? How do I heal? How do I even know what's wrong? How do I know what I'm feeling? And all of those things. And those come up in sessions all the time. The hows, the whys. It really starts with being honest, though. That's like the biggest thing, is being honest about what you're feeling and the why and allow yourself to go there, which is something that just for me happened today, right? Mari-Lyn helped me through something. It was an old wound that I've done so much healing on.
Mhm.
And when it got triggered a bit, it wasn't a huge trigger, but it was there. It was, and my fear was, oh my God, I'm going to revert back to
Yep.
who I was or how I used to experience that, how I used to deal with it.
Right.
And Mari-Lyn, well, you can, without, I mean, she helped me through it. Like, no, you're not that person. You don't have to fear doing the same thing because you've healed that.
Mhm.
Right. And, and I could look at it as a lesson. I could look at it. What did Spirit came in and said, like, you're looking at this the wrong way. You're looking at it's something to, I have more to work on, or I have, and what was that? And
I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was along the lines of, you're looking at this as a bad thing,
yes,
as another failure, as
yes,
you did something wrong,
yes,
and you didn't.
no,
In fact, at one point you said, I ignored the signs.
yes,
And I had to remind you, no, you didn't. You saw the signs and you moved forward anyway, and you moved in with your eyes wide open,
yes,
and you got to learn more lessons.
yeah,
You got to find a new way to experience
yes.
this type of scenario.
And that type of scenario, now part of it, Spirit said, look how far you've come. Not,
Yes.
don't look at, oh, I have so much farther to go.
Yes.
Look at how far you've come.
Look at how far you've come.
Praise yourself.
Yeah.
How about be proud of the fact that you've done all that healing?
Yes.
And no one got hurt. No one got, and not only did I stand up for myself, I stood up for a group of people. So, I put myself in a new position.
I almost said predicament. But it was a predicament.
Yes.
It was not a predicament.
I wanted to look at it as a predicament.
Yes. You did.
But it wasn't. I put myself in a new position.
Yeah.
Look at it from a side that I hadn't looked at it before.
Yep.
And I think I rose to that occasion, and I did what I was meant to do. And that's part of it, is not beating myself up, not going to that place of shame, not going to that place, oh my God, I did it again. Now it's, what about saying, oh, I recognized it. Look at me, look at me go. I recognized it. I see it.
And you did it different.
And I did it different.
You did it different. Yes. And that's how we measure our, every word I want to say is the wrong word. That's how we measure how far we've come.
Yes.
How differently did I do it?
Yes.
How much sooner did I do it differently?
Yes.
Yeah. When we first become aware of wounding and that we react to a scenario in a certain way, when we first become aware of it, we're still going to react the same way.
Yes.
Because awareness isn't enough.
Yes.
So
it's like a reality check.
Yeah. And
where are you? Yeah.
You react the same way, and then you go, oh, okay. And then pretty soon you're in the middle of reacting that way, and you go, wait a minute, I don't want to react this way. And you
Yes.
Then comes that glorious day when the scenario has moved through and you're looking back on it and you go, holy shit, I didn't react that way. I did this, or I did that, or I didn't do anything at all. And you changed it.
Yes. And I've been there in those and those times too.
And
Yes.
they're glorious.
Well, oh boy, glorious.
Sometimes
Yes.
sometimes we will fall back into that old behavior and we catch it.
Yep.
And it's important that we don't beat ourselves up over it.
Yes.
Super important, because if we start beating ourselves up, then we fall into victimhood and then into martyrdom. And then it's all gross. And then it's
yeah.
and
Yes.
then we backslide right back down a rabbit hole. And it can happen that fast.
Yes, that fast.
It really can. So allowing ourselves to be human and to make mistakes and to withhold any judgment, and then just to continue to do better. Because when we know better and we do better, we heal.
Yes. What came up for me just now is the meditations Fred's meditations that we put on our podcast, on the YouTube channel podcast.
Yes.
That's a great place to start healing. Listening to those weekly.
Yes.
Not everyone is going to, like some of them, you're going to come out of that meditation and you're not going to, maybe you don't feel like you got as much out of that one, or there was something in it that maybe Fred said, okay, see this, and you didn't see it, and you come out and you feel kind of like a loser. It's like, well, I didn't get, don't let all of that derail you from listening to another one, or even coming back to that one at another time. Sometimes we're not, because they're made for the collective, right? So sometimes it may not be just the right moment for that particular one. However, every time you sit down to do a guided meditation, you're already telling yourself, I'm ready to heal. I'm ready to move forward.
Yes, you are.
And there are times for all of us that we can't get through a meditation. There are times when I sit down to do it because I need to record it for Sunday, and I'm like, oh, forget this. And I just delete everything and I walk away, and then I come back later and do it again, and then it just flows. So don't give up on those.
Yeah.
And we put them there to help everyone heal and to move through their stuff and write stuff down. And okay, so you didn't get to see whatever he said that you should be seeing. Let go of that. And what did you feel? What came from, what else was there? You know?
I want to add to those people that listen and they get pissed off.
Oh, yes.
Please know that anger is normal. Something that was said is there for you to heal. And it just isn't the right time. For whatever reason.
Yes.
Or
you're choosing for it not to be the right time.
You're choosing. It can absolutely can be a choice.
We all bypass and go, yes.
We all do it. And it's part of being human. But again, don't let that derail you either.
Yes.
Another time, another meditation, the same meditation. And even if for those of you that have not done guided meditation before, the grounding portion that's at the beginning of each one, if that's all you can do, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Don't have the expectations. Don't put expectations on it. Do not. Exactly. I always say the best intention, because when we open space, we say our intention. The best way for any intention at any time is, my intention is to bring in the energies for my highest good. My intention is to receive whatever I need for my highest good, and let it be at that. Yes. And you may not see, because I use that word a lot, and it is see this, see that. And I try to remember to say, see, hear, feel, whatever. No, even. Whatever's come, or no, yes. And it takes a while to get into Fred's meds. Like it takes, you have,
I mean, you have, when you very first listen to one, you have to do several of them to sort of understand, okay, not you.
I'm bragging over here. I'm
You
so
are.
bragging. I'm being such a braggart because the very
Yes.
first meditation I ever did,
Oh man.
oh man, I was in it. I was gone.
Yep.
I
Crying.
was crying. I was
Yes.
understanding. I
Yes.
was really understanding
Yes.
um so much. And
Yeah.
part of me didn't want to. But part of me just was so soaking it up, so grateful.
Yes.
Yeah,
You were ready.
I
You
was
were
so beyond.
absolutely, you may not have known when you walked in that you were ready, but you were ready. You were tired of being tired. I'm
I
ready
was
to
so
move
tired. Oh man.
on to, yes. And I am getting better not having an audience, doing them without an audience. That is very different for me.
Yeah.
Because I did them live for people sitting around, and that's very different than recording them for the channel. It's
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The vibration
hmm.
in a live setting with you and Fred's Meds is, oh my goodness.
And remember, we do them at night, and we'd get home around 9 o'clock, 9:30,
Yep.
and it was like, oh, there's no chance of me going to sleep in the next couple
I'm
hours.
gonna be up for a couple hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just buzzing out. Remember, we'd have to, okay, get in the car, ground, make
Ooh,
sure
get
we're
grounded.
grounded.
Yep.
And yeah, it was like, because it was easy to fly off out into
So
nowhere.
easy. So easy.
Yes, but any of you, please try them. And if Friends Men's is not your gig, like that, you're like, find a way of meditating that works for you. And I guarantee you that is a beautiful way to start the healing process. You will start to learn about yourself, learn about why you're here, and what you're working toward. Sort of all of that, your lessons, your wounding, where you've been, where you're going, like all of that. So meditation is really important. I cannot for the life of me sit down and do what's it called? Mindfulness meditation.
Mindfulness.
Might as well forget about it. As soon as I ground and they start talking to me. I'm getting messaging right away. Mari-Lyn tried to get me to do mindfulness meditation. I asked her to. I mean, it's like, can you help me with this? Yeah, no.
Which is really funny because I can't do it either. But
it's hard.
At the time when you asked me,
Yeah.
I was trying to do it, and in trying to do it myself, I started guiding it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Which, that really didn't work.
But you try new things.
I tried.
Yes. And it was like we were both like, okay, let's just stay with Friends Mint. It's just what we like. It's what we like to do. I am not, Mari-Lyn will tell you, am not a great student, client, whatever. I absolutely suck at it. I'm so bad. I try to take off my teacher hat. I try to take off all those, like, whatever it is. And I'm really, really bad at it. And I will add, part of how I move energy is through my voice. That's part of why I talk so much, is I'm moving energy that way. So trying to give me a healing, I'm blah, 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 and it can be very disconcerting for the poor healer trying to heal me. Yes, as you can add, Mari-Lyn, if you can give me a healing, you can heal anyone. It's like if you can ground me, oh, you have no problem grounding anyone. Yeah, Mari-Lyn learned how to ground people from practicing on me, and that's why she's so good at it. Because yeah, it's
I can find just about anybody, I think.
Yep. You're really good at it. But look who I mean, you started with the hardest of the hard. I am
I
not
did.
easy.
You are
Yes.
not easy.
No.
No,
I
you are
am not easy.
No.
You sound like I'm
No,
not at all. But
no, you're not.
so
But
finding
it was a great way to learn
Mhm. Yes,
trust, a great
yes,
way to learn trust
yes.
in myself and spirit.
Yeah. So finding a practice for yourself is really important. And it doesn't have to be, we talk about this a lot. Maybe we talk about it again. What is meditation? Meditation is really
Yes.
just moving your ego out of the way and just receiving. That's it. It can be done any way. You can doing the dishes. I had a client that used to, that was her time in the morning. She would leave the after dinner dishes and she would get up in the morning before her kids got up and she would do the dishes. And that was her meditation time. And that set pace for her entire day of feeling grounded and ready. And her kids would get up, blah, and she was ready for it. And it really helped transform her. So it can be anything at any
It can be anything.
Yes.
There are times when I feel particularly stuck, if you will, I get out the vacuum and I start vacuuming.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I wish that worked the same way for me, but it doesn't.
Yeah. And there's been a few times where nope. Doesn't work.
As you know, you just don't beat yourself up over those times.
No,
that's just being human. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. So don't beat yourself up. It just is what it is. Today, this moment is not the moment.
Exactly.
Later might be a better moment, or the next day might be a better moment.
Yep.
But just try.
Maybe it's something different that needs to soothe myself. A lot of people, gardening is a beautiful meditation for them. Walking.
Which I do every day. That's a good time for me. Shuffling cards really helps me sometimes when I can't get my brain to stop, when I'm having a hard time getting grounded. Even if I am grounded and I'm having a hard time sort of fitting into my channel, I'll start, I keep cards right here, right on my desk, and I just start shuffling. And sometimes it takes, 10, 12 shuffles. But usually it's just about 4 or 5, and I'm like, okay, whoo, it's just that I really don't know. It's just doing that repetitive thing and helps me find a rhythm to what I'm doing. And it's like guided meditation. The music is extremely important to me.
Sure.
To get me into that rhythm. And there are times so I'll sit down to do a meditation. I'll try to find music, and Fred's like, nope. He knows exactly the rhythm that I need to get through the meditation. And he'll be like, nope. And sometimes it takes me a while to find the right one. Yes. But that rhythm. So what's coming also is for those of you who feel very chaotic and get scattered, try something like that. Try something like sitting down and just shuffling cards over and over and over again. Do something that has rhythm to it, something that can help you sort of focus without taking you out. So I know there are some people who will start coloring or start whatever.
Oh, coloring is a dangerous place, because for me, that's an escape.
Yes, it can. Yeah. So I'm not talking about how do we escape here.
Right.
I'm talking about just get you grounded, get your thoughts back in, like if you have a bunch of butterflies, get them in a single file.
Right. And oh my goodness. For me, playing piano.
Yes.
Does one or the other.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not a guarantee that if I sit down to play the piano, that I am going to be in that receive mode. I
That's
could sit down and all of a sudden I am
yes.
anywhere but in receive mode. Woo!
Okay, that happens to me with going for a walk sometimes too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there are sometimes I'll sit down to play for the purpose of wanting to
Yeah.
disappear, escape. And it's like,
Yes. Yes.
well,
Okay,
crap.
there's nothing wrong with escaping once in a while. We don't mean that at
No.
all. There are times when that we're just talking about sometimes when you need to get focused and
Yeah.
you are struggling to do so. Do
Yes.
something repetitive like that. And
Yeah.
mine is shuffling cards. That really works for
Oh,
me.
it could be drumming.
Drumming, that, yes. And there
Singing
are times
bird.
when drumming almost is painful. It's like, I gotta put this drum away. Yeah, it's just not working.
Mhm.
So try different things. Try
Yeah.
different things.
And what worked once may not work all the time.
Is that the truth?
Mhm.
Yes.
As our moods and our vibrations fluctuate so much
Mhm,
throughout
mhm.
the day, the week.
There's someone out there that needs to hear this. They either do it or it's a thought for them, is doing laundry and sitting and listening to it go around, like a big old load of towels or something, and listening to it, that rhythmic thing that happens, especially like in the dryer. Yes,
Yeah.
allow yourself. I almost see someone, and when I say see, please know that I'm not clairvoyant. I I get the way my clairs work is I get a quick flash and then it turns into a knowing. And so when I say see, I did see it for a second, but then it just turns into knowing. So I'm not clairvoyant like Mari-Lyn is. She's
Yeah, because
truly a clairvoyant.
I see somebody whose dryer is in their kitchen, which lends me to believe this is somewhere in Europe,
Ah,
uh,
okay.
sitting in a just sitting in a almost like a dining room table chair or a bamboo folding chair. I know this is a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
specific, but um sitting there and allowing
Yes.
that rhythm to just soothe,
Yes.
ground, and open you up to receiving.
That feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That feels really good.
it does. Sorry, didn't mean to take over your
No, I'm glad you did. Because that actually was like, okay, I didn't realize I needed to be grounded again. I was like, that grounded me right away.
See how good
Yes, that was good.
that was not me.
So anything that you can find, something that you do, some of your daily chores, turning daily chores into some sort of daily meditation, daily routine, that thing that you dislike doing. Like there are many of us, oh, I have to vacuum. Oh, I have to wash clothes or whatever. Turning that into a positive for you, it would be very, very medicinal for you. The word medicinal came in.
Love that.
Very medicinal. Doing the dishes, stirring something. I see someone stirring. I don't know if that's like baking, maybe like you're
like pudding.
yes. Oh, I love pudding. Oh, custard. Oh, custard is my favorite. Yes.
I don't I haven't had long hair in so long. And I don't know if I'm sure some women do at night or in the morning and they spend
Ah,
a
sorry.
long time brushing their hair,
Ah,
brushing and brushing.
ah.
That could be a wonderful time for meditation.
Okay. So if you ever want to torture me, make me sit there and brush my hair. I cannot. You are, I brush my hair because I have to. It's torture. Oh my gosh. So whoever you are out there, please let us know who you are that likes the hairbrush.
because that's something they used to do in the movies.
Yes, 100
She'd take her-
times or something.
Take her hair down and she'd brush it. And that always, I can remember as a child being so enthralled.
I can't brush fast enough to get the hell out of there. Like, just. And they always had the most beautiful hair, didn't they?
Yes.
Those women that did that in those movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful hair. Beautiful. No, that is just, that's something.
Meditation does not have to look, it doesn't have to look anyway at all.
No.
Not at all.
No.
It's just a time to commune and receive.
Yes. That's what meditation is. It's giving your ego a break. It's giving yourself a break to put the wounding aside, put all of the daily flotsam and jetsam and whatever, put it aside and just be in receiving mode. Just allow it to be. Your shoulders are down where they need to be. They're not all up under your ears. You know, you're sitting comfortably or standing. Yes. And some people with it, it's exercise, which I find really weird because, you know, but some people, that can be a time for it.
The treadmill
yes,
is a great,
it's like walking for me. Yeah. But I'm just seeing someone exercise. They're doing like, you know, whatever, like Tabata or something. And
Tabata, what is that?
Tabata. It's kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, but it's one of those exercises where it's kind of like Tebow or Taibo, whatever it used to be.
Taibo. I love Taibo.
Yes, it's kind of like that, but what they do is like they have you do the same exercise for like 20 seconds and then you rest for 10 seconds and then you do a different exercise for 20 and then you rest for 10 and it wears you out. But that can even be anything that you don't. Okay, so here's a piece of it too. So when I said Tabata, that might not be the one unless you know the routine inside and out. If you're focused on watching someone else do it to tell you direction,
right,
you've got your ego in there too much. So it's something where it's like secondhand and you just kind of know how to do it. And it just, but so
Qigong came to mind.
Oh, absolutely.
The slow motion. But again, with Qigong, as with any real exercise, you have to know it to be safe. So you can be in that receive mode while you're doing it.
Yes. Being safe is very important.
Yes.
But we can all find those things to do.
Yep.
Yes. And what's also coming here, and but those of us of a certain age, well, actually, we really do start menopause when we're about 35. That's when our hormones start declining. That's when estrogen starts declining. But anyway, so there's like 10, 15 years in there that we're menopausal. Getting up and doing something within 2 hours of waking up is really good for us, is really important. And it doesn't have to be a lot, 5 minutes of something. So that could be, you could kind of kill two birds with one stone. It's just about moving your body, not just getting up and plopping back down. It's doing something. So you could put both of those things, all of those things together. So to get balanced for your day. Ooh, are we done? Does that feel done?
No, are we? Sure.
I think so. Yeah. I think we appreciate everyone always showing up and listening. We hope you enjoyed today's, whatever that was. I don't know what I'm going to call it.
I hope there was something thought-provoking in there.
I do too. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And let's what I just written is a need to close space. Oftentimes what happens is once we stop the recording, then I go, oh yeah, close space. And so then I have to go and close it down.
Absolutely.
So do you want to close? Or do you want me to close?
I can close space. You bet.
Okay.
Yeah. Spirit, I ask that all of the beautiful energy that it is surrounding Pam and myself and everyone that's listening, whenever they're listening, the energy just close down. It all gets grounded out, absorbed into the earth. Everyone's vibration remains high.
Yes.
They remain alert.
Yes. Thank you. So here's something too. I know people are going, well, you don't do that at the same time that we do. So how are you going to close down space when we're listening to this a week after you do it, or 2 weeks, or a month, or something? Time in the other dimensions is not linear. It's not linear. You can listen to it anytime. So at the time of this recording, we can feel all of you. We don't know who you are, but we can feel a group of you listening to this. And so it's not linear. It's whenever you need that energy, it's there. So
It's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I wanted to say that. Thank you so much, everyone. TCS, Everyday Psychics, will get you to our website. And we have a new pretty website. We still have a few things to do, but Mari-Lyn is really the one that did the most work. Check it out. It's beautiful. Let us know what you think of it. If you need any of our services, please contact us through the website.
Yep. There is a contact us, and we would love to hear from you.
Yes, and all of our stuff is on there. So everything you want to know is on there. Oh, we're going to do a glossary. Should we just mention that?
Yes, we are going to do a glossary page.
Yes.
So we would love to know, what terms would you like to have on that glossary?
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to do it because when we speak, it's not even a thought. We don't talk down to anyone. We're not, but sometimes what happens is we talk as if everyone knows all the terms that we're using.
Right.
And they don't, and you don't always. So those are the terms. We want to put just a list of a bunch of terms on the website. Yep. And you can go there and look and say, oh, what does that,
And some of our verbiage is kind of contradictory to other verbiage that's out
there. Very much so. Especially in paranormal land.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It is.
People get really confused. It's all spiritual. So even if it's paranormal stuff, that's all under the spiritual umbrella.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes. And we're going to do, I think, a short video on that and put that out, also asking for what terms would you like explained, or what do you think would help someone else?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. And then we'll have that on the website. So
we'll get that.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.